I took a small futures account of 1 grand and turned it into 2 grand in 8 trading days. I took 52 trades and only had one losing trade with a 98% win percentage. Now, a 98% win percentage is not typical for me at all, but I think I found a way to trade that works really, really well. And I haven't done this on a prop firm or a funded account yet, but I'm sure it would work the same as it did on my cash account. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys exactly how I was able to grow this account so you can do the same. All right, so I got it pulled up on my phone. I want to show you guys a breakdown of the actual account. This is a live account on a broker called AMP, not a funded account or anything like that. You can also see that I put in deposit $1,000 and the current profit says 1,090 after commissions and everything like that. The account is sitting at $2,000. Okay, so we doubled the account. You can see all the different trade logs here. I'm going to go through them in a second, but let me just go ahead to the time frame on this. Let me go ahead and start this on March 8th is when I started taking this account seriously, to March 20th, which is the day that I'm filming it now. We'll click done, and then there we go. You can see profit was about 876, so the account was at like 1,200 when I started doing this. What I can do is I can just scroll through this. Anytime you see the word correction, by the way, that just means that's the commissions that paid. But if I just go through, there's not going to be a single loss here except for one, which I should get to in a second. But you can basically kind of see what I did to actually grow this account. A lot of it was scalping, right? Got in and out very quickly. A lot of the profits are $5, $10. You can see that 199 loss right there. That was actually when I wasn't scalping. I was trying something else out. Other than that, very consistent. Biggest win was about 140 on that other sell 6 on MNQ right there. I only traded MNQ contracts. Didn't even trade ES. Didn't trade any of the large contracts, just micros. All of this worked extremely, extremely well. And you can see very consistent $5 wins, $10 wins, $20 wins, a lot of different ranges, but we're going to dive into the account, show you guys exactly the strategy behind how I was able to do this, how you can do the same and grow your account basically in a matter of a few weeks. Okay, so we're in the charts now. I want to show you guys exactly how I grew this account. Now, the main thing to understand is that I used what I call price action, but it's kind of a mix of supply and demand and support resistance. Now, if you guys are new and you don't really understand supply and demand or kind of how that works, what I've done is I've created a free course inside of a free community that I call the Vault. I'm going to leave a link to join that in the description if you guys want. But essentially, what I would do is I'll stick to the 1 minute time frame, right? And I would look for supply demand zones, and I would just scalp them. I would look for 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 points on NQ. And that is essentially what I would do. I would just be very patient with my entries, my exits. I'd find really good setups. And so I can show you a quick example. If we look here, we have a little supply zone forming all the way up here today, all the way up in this area. Now, we haven't touched it yet, but what I would do is set an order out just like this. And I would wait for price to go ahead and get in. I'd get out really, really quickly, just a few, 4 points, 5 points, and then get out. Now, a few quick things to understand to make the strategy work for you, right? First thing is I only look at one time frame, okay? So I only look at the 1 minute chart. Now, when I'm looking at the 1 minute chart for my entries and my exits, the other thing to note is that you need to always have a higher time frame perspective when trading, right? So the other thing I'm doing is, yes, I'm trading and I'm mainly looking at the 1 minute chart, but I'm also understanding higher time frame context. And that's going to be really important when it comes to actually trading, right? Like, you can be looking to buy all the way up here. It may make sense in the 1 minute perspective, but if we're approaching a supply zone all the way, back here, it doesn't make sense. You don't necessarily want to be looking along in that area. So I'm always keeping aware of, where are my entries, where are my exits, where are my supply zones, where are my demand zones, especially on the higher time frames to keep me situated with trading this. Now, you may be asking, how did I have such a high win rate? How did I have a 98% win rate? It was like 52 trades, 51 winners, 1 loss. The 1 loss I took wasn't even doing it. It was essentially this. And this is a strategy that you need to have very good emotional discipline to be able to do. But essentially it would be like this. So let's take this example, for example. Say I'm looking to short here. I'm looking to get just 5 points out of it, okay? So short at 93, take profit at 85, okay? Or 87, sorry. So we're looking to get 5 points. Now, where do I put my stop? It's a really good question. So the way I use this strategy is I actually didn't have a stop loss in any of my trades. And what I would do is if price went against me, I would actually add to my position. Now, I want to keep in mind and say this is not my typical strategy, and I easily could have put myself in a position to essentially blow up my account by doing this. This is why I tested this on a small account. I would never do this on my main account. This is just something I'm testing and seeing that if it would be possible to work. Now, Again, if I am wrong and prices keep going up and up and up, and I keep adding, at some point I'm going to get margin called. I'm going to lose all my money, and I'm going to blow up the entire account. But the way that I'm kind of going about the strategy is I'm looking at higher time frame demand zones, and I'm playing into that. So let me show you a example of kind of what I would be looking at, right? So I believe this was on this other day here. So I was actually looking at the Qs as well. Qs, same thing as M and Q. But what I noticed on the Qs, if I go on I think it was, 4-hour chart here, we have a beautiful demand zone right here. Okay, we have a beautiful 4-hour demand zone here. And this was, price was approaching this area right near the open was yesterday on N and Q, right? So I can draw the same zone around here. We're just going to look at the QQQ chart, just a little bit easier. But essentially trading the same thing. So I knew at this point, price was coming down and down and down. And so I have that support. I have that overall demand zone support, where if this demand zone failed, then I would look to actually get out. I'd have a pretty big loss. But when price was coming down, I eventually got in right on this candle here as we were approaching a demand zone on NMQ. So I got in my first entry right around here, and the price just dumped. I was down 10 points, down 15 points. I was down about $20-$30, which isn't much. And then I added, and down here I had about 4 or 5 different contracts. But my average was right around this area here, around 434. And then when price came out, I got out for just quick 3 points. And 3 points on 3 or 4 or 5 different contracts adds up to about $30-$40. And so anytime I had a winner that was $30-$40, it would be because I was able to get in more contracts. But when I was trading it, and a lot of the winners were only $10 or $15 or $12 or $8, that's because I would have one contract, I'd get in, and then that would be it. And I gave myself room to add if I really needed to, right? So then what would happen? So if we take a look back at NQ, right, that would be one of the trades that I would take. So if we go back to when that started, now that price was coming out of this higher time frame demand zone, we were getting a nice bounce out of it. I saw that we were starting to form an uptrend, right? And we had these mini highs and mini lows, mini highs, mini lows. So on all these dips here, I was just buying the dip, right? Every candle we get, right here on this dip, I'd buy this at 85, and I'd take profit at 90. It's 6 points and quick 1 minute candles. And then dip again, I'd buy. And then it would go up here, and I'd miss out on this entire move because I'd be selling early, but I'd be scalping. I'm taking my 5, 6, 7, 10 points, and I'm getting out. And same thing here, dipped, I'd buy. To buy. Every single dip, even just a little bit, I would buy, and I would add down a little bit if I needed to. And then when price got up here, as price started to dip, I would get in, and I would add, and then, on these scalps, I would take profit. And then as I came back down, I'd be down, down 50, 60, 100, $200 at some point, because I'm adding, and then it would quickly go back up, and I would take profit at either close to break even or just above break even. And so, yes, overall, the strategy is not, necessarily great long term. It's not something that I have really tested out. It's just something I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's interesting that you can scalp, especially on a ticker like NQ. There's so much opportunity. It goes up and down so quickly. There's wicks on almost every candle, and you can make 2, 3, 4, 5 points and just do that over and over again, and continue to actually do that. Now, the way I think that the strategy would actually work long term is I would need to implement a system where I have an actual stop loss in place. Essentially, I could easily get caught in a move. If we look at NQ like this, where if I start getting in long right here and I just keep adding, it keeps going down and down and down, it doesn't give me a chance to get break even or pullback, I'm going to blow up my entire account on one day in one trade. Now, again, I'm coming into the strategy in the account knowing this is a very real possibility, and it should be the same for you guys. If you ever try and attempt this, blowing an account is very possible. But I sometimes think if there's a way where, let's say I have 1,000 in the account and I do the strategy and I bring it up to 3K, then I take out $1,000, then blowing up is you're still getting a good risk reward. You're still risking $1,000 to get the account to 3K, right? It's just a different way of looking at the market, different way of actually trading. And again, you need to be safe when you play it, just like this trade right here would have worked out perfectly, right? We would have just taken profit, quick 5 points, and that's it. And you can see, we have another little 1 minute kind of supply zone here you could trade off of. Just take this wick at 89, take it down to 86, 85. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't on live, but we'll see. That's another thing you could do, even in this mini uptrend, right? You can see how you could have just bought the dip here, bought the dip here, bought the dip here, bought this dip, right? And yeah, let's say I did short right here. Now it's going against me. I can add here, add here, add here. Add, maybe we get a stop hunt above this high. A lot of times I would add right above highs or lows because there's a lot of stop hunts. It happens all the time in NQ where price will take out a high or a low and then just immediately start reversing. So I just gave myself a bunch of room to add, also knowing that, hey, we have another supply zone all the way up here. This area is going to be supply, especially if we look on like a 5 minute. We kind of tapped it right here. But you guys get the idea. So simply by doing this, you can grow a small account pretty quickly. Now, I haven't tested this on a funded account. I think it could work well on a funded account. The only issue would be the drawdown. Obviously, there's a max drawdown, and in some trades, some instances, I can be drawdown pretty far with these trades. But ultimately, knowing that at some point, price is going to reverse or pull back, or as you're being very confident, you're going for quick 2, 3, 5 points, nothing more than that, nothing crazy. I think the strategy could work for you. But again, just to clarify, this is a strategy that I just wanted to test, just want to share with you guys because I thought it was interesting how I was able to grow a small account. This is not at all my normal strategy. 98% win rate is like impossible. I'm sure if I kept doing this, that would drop at some point. And I'm probably end up blowing up the account. But my normal strategy is different, works. I use it for a main account, has proper risk management, everything like that. This is just something cool I wanted to share with you guys. You can see here, again, you would have made another 5 points. So that would have been another quick $20 on a $1,000 account. That's 2%. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. And then you call it. You have to be able to call it. I was trading every day. I wasn't trying to do it all in one day. You got to be able to know when to take profit. Just make $50, 2%, 3% a day, 2 quick trades, get in, get out, and wait for your next setup. You can also do this in a way where you're very, very disciplined, simply trading supply demand. So like I could just, short here, have a stop loss here. Maybe you just don't give yourself a good risk reward and just take 2 of these trades a day. You're making 5 points. You're, over 2 trades, you're making 10 points. It's $20 on one contract, right? One micro contract. So you can make 2% a day simply by doing this. And obviously on the days where you blow up and you have a stop loss and you lose a little bit more money, it's going to be harder to get it back. But that's part of trading. That's what you decide you want to do and decide how you want to trade. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you are or you have been following me and you've watched me for a while on YouTube and you've made it to the end of this video, what I want you to do is go to my Twitter. I'm going to leave a link in the description below and DM me the word YouTube. Okay, if you DM me the word YouTube, I know you came from this video, and I'll be happy to share with you a quick little free gift for you. All right, but only if you make it until the end. If you're watching this, DM me the word on YouTube. Check out the free course below. It goes over supply demand and a few other cool resources in there as well. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below any other videos I should make. I'll see you guys in the next video.